And thank you very much for joining me live tonight, if you are. So it's tonight for me here in the middle of central France. I know it's not tonight everywhere in the world. So whatever time of day it is that you are here, I am so super grateful. So like I just said, you know, as a few people were joining the live session here, we're here to talk about living in these times where it feels so unsettled. And it's actually the crew that guide me into these realms of conversation that we're going to have. So last time we talked about how this feeling of separation that each one of us, as the light bringers here, as the bringers of the new, how that's always felt perhaps something that has made it difficult for us to fit in, but in actual fact is a really great gift to the world when it's explained through the eyes of the crew, through the eyes of this greater expanded perspective of how we need these elements. You know, the crew have often talked about this, of how we are like acupuncture needles, how we're all placed in strategic places around the world, in the lives that we're in the lineages that we're in the families that we're in the cultures that we're in the languages that we're in, so that we as the collective of millions now who are bringing in this energy of never quite fitting in, how we are allowing that not fitting inness to actually change the world. And I thought that the way that that was expressed last time was so beautifully clear that in actual fact, it really has brought a sense of peace to so many people. And I was called to just trim the entire channel and just share it publicly last time. I won't be doing that for each one of these sanctuary sessions, but because that was such a fundamental issue for so many of us who are here as the teachers and the visionaries and the light bringers, and you know, they're not quite fitted in us. You know, I just thought that was such an important message to be sharing publicly with everyone. So as I said, if you didn't catch it earlier on, if you were just coming in there, feel free to ask a question. If you are here live tonight, what's going to happen is I'm going to get out of the way really quickly. I'm going to let the crew come through very quickly tonight and talk to us about what they want to speak to the room about today, to hold space for, which is this living in this feeling of everything falling apart. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a little break. I'm just going to have like a couple of minutes and I'll be checking your comments. And then I've got some questions that have been sent to me on email. So I'm going to answer those. I'm going to bring the crew through again, and hopefully we'll get some answers to those if we've not gone on too long. So yeah, if you do have a question, if something's brewing with you, there is a little icon that's next to the chat where you can ask a question, and I'll get through as many as I can. So how is everybody feeling after last time? I hope that you found it really useful. I know that I did, to actually be held in that space for those good 30 minutes of just feeling held and feeling secure and feeling like I'm not alone in this. You know, I think that's one of the things that we can all feel, is we all feel like we're the only ones that's feeling this. We're the only ones that feel that life's weird. We're the only ones that, you know, are struggling with the energy intensities now. But we're absolutely not. We are absolutely not. Every single one of us is part of this network, and we are all feeling the same things. We may be experiencing them differently as we are unwound and unwoven from our own unique pieces that have been made solid. But we're all feeling this new intensity, and I'm absolutely sure that the crew are going to be talking about that tonight. So if you have any comments, if you want to just pop anything in now, I'm just going to take a brew, and then literally we're only 7 minutes in, I'm going to get out of the way, and I'm going to let us all just be held by the energy of the crew and bring through the message that they want to bring tonight. So I'm going to just do that. But before I do, I wanted to share something with you before I begin, which is a little bit of writing that the crew brought through several years ago now. But I think it's a real reminder, and I'm going to share this with everybody as well on email. It's a real reminder of what can we come back to? What can we actually come back to when we're feeling really unsteady? What can we come back to that is something that we can hold on to? So I'm just going to read this for you right now. And it starts with, it's all about life. Your job is to be open to life, nothing more. Simply to allow life to find you, to allow life to live within you, to allow life to guide, amaze, and astound you. Your job is to lift up your eyes and notice the blue of the sky and be amazed. Your job is to look around at the world and be astounded. Your job is to let life in. Your job is to allow life to breathe through you, to be you, for you to be life. Your job is simply to be the calling in the breath, to be whatever you feel in that moment. Your job is to be here, to be human, to live every aspect of life. The good, the bad, the ups, the downs, the joys, the pain, all of it. And to live it as though that is your one and only purpose. For that is what you are, life. Living itself through you. Experiencing the experience of life through you. Breathing life through you. You are life itself. And so simply put, your one and only job here in this life is to remember to live. So as we're going to talk in a minute about living in these energies where it feels like everything's falling apart, those words are something that we can hold on to. Whenever we feel like we've lost our purpose, we've lost our direction, we've lost our North Star, we can come back to those words. That our North Star is actually to live life and to be life and to let life live through us. So with that, those beautiful words, I am going to get out of the way and I'm going to allow the crew to come in and hold space for this sanctuary session number 2. And what we're going to do is, like I say, when this is ended, feel free to come back a little bit, take a couple of minutes, take a drink of water or whatever it is, and then I'm going to go back in and do some questions. So that's going to be cool. So I'm going to get out of the way. What I will say is, please, a moment of health and safety, because we are working with intense energies here. If you are driving right now and listening to this webinar, please stop listening and listen to the recording later. If you are doing anything where you need more of your attention on the thing than on this webinar, then please listen to the recording. The intensity and the energy will still be there. It's all pre-programmed into the recording, so you will hear it in exactly the same way. But it's really important that you understand that we are actually going to go into a meditative energy. We are bringing in different vibrations. So if you're driving, time to go and sit in a lay-by or stop listening now. Right. I always feel like I need some sort of smoother way to get in and out of a channel. Quite often when I come out of them, when I'm doing one-to-one sessions, I swear a little bit at the end because it's been so mind-blowing, both for me and the person that I'm working with. But yeah, I kind of feel like human me gets a little bit unsettled at these times. So anyway, thank you for being here, and I'm going to get out of the way now. Welcome to you all. Welcome to all of you who are listening to these words in the moment that we speak them. And welcome to you who are listening to these words in another time. What we would like to express first of all is that the vibrational frequency and the understanding from these words, the holding space as it is described, is built into these messages, that it matters not when you listen to them, how many times you listen to them, where you are when you listen to them. The energy frequency is always there. And we are bringing through a stillness this evening, a steadiness. It is what is required in this moment by the collective, by this collective who is here listening to these words, and through to the collective of humanity as a whole. For steadiness is what feels to many to be the thing that is hardest to attain. And there are many reasons for this. There are many reasons and many unfoldings, and we will attempt as we can to unfurl a little understanding into each of the layers for you this evening. And we say this evening because this is where we sit, and this is where the channel that speaks is, in time and space. You may be listening in a different time and space. That is indeed one of the understandings that can help you to move beyond the harsh weaving of this world. That time and space are not as fixed as you think. Indeed, it is the belief thinking of it being fixed that is holding you and humanity in a pattern in this particular reality loop of believing that it is fixed. But there is, and you will discover as a humanity in time to come, other truths, other beliefs, other weavings that will be brought into the agreed reality of humanity about time and space itself. Indeed, this channel likes to refer to a book that she was gifted many years ago now, one from centuries ago, that was written by a scientist of the time who believed that the smallest element that would ever be discovered was the atom. And there was a truth in that time and space that was solidity, that there would be no smaller element to be found. But now in this time, you who are held here in this moment, recognize and know that that is no longer truth. That is no longer solidity. That is no longer current thinking. And so as the thinking of humanity changes, so the truth and possibilities for humanity change. And that is what so many of you are feeling as an unsteadiness now. An undoing, if you will, an unweaving of this solidity of belief that has been held for so long now, for many things, many experiences, many cultures, many aspects of life itself for you as a human here in this time now. And what is occurring? Many of you will have been told of a awakening, told of a vibrational shift, told of an up level, told of an expansion. There are many words. There are many descriptions. And all of them are valid. What is occurring now is that the vibrational intensity, shall we say, of all aspects of existence is being amplified. Let us give you a visualization for this that may assist you while holding you steady in these moments. For many of you listening, you can remember a time where the TV screens that you watch now, they do not come with color. For many of you watching now, the TV screens that you watch, you will remember them being of much lower intensity, we shall say. Indeed, now, if you look back on the films that you watched when you were younger, of the special effects, we shall say, witnessing how they at that time seemed incredible, seemed astounding, and held your gaze and held your attention and allowed you to escape into different worlds through the ability to present to you something that was beyond your thinking. But if you were to look back now, through the high definition television screens that you have, all of you sitting in your living rooms, if you were to watch now one of the films from only a few years ago, you would see how the screen was much smaller. You will see how the intensity of the effects was much lower. You will see less definition in the images. And therefore, on an emotional level, you will find it now harder to be swept away as you were only a few years ago. This is an imagery which helps you to understand what is occurring in the world, the vibrational shift, the intensity shift. Many of you have heard it described in a way that uses only descriptive words of an intensity upgrade, of more light coming in. But what does that mean to you as a human living here now? That means that you are, in many ways, just as we have described in that visualization, you have evolved as a being to be of higher definition, to witness the world around you in higher definition. You are seeing more with every glance of your eyes than you ever saw before. The information that you are receiving is magnified multiple fold. And so therefore the human in which you sit, the machinery in which you sit, the body in which you sit, the blood, the brain, the cells, the very elements of you that are all held together in a vibrational frequency that makes you, you. Every single cell of you has been upgraded, has been moved to a higher definition. And so what does that mean? Many of you who are listening here now have been working through this upgrade process, we shall say. You have been actively welcoming in your own awakening. You have been actively saying to the universe, show me more. You have been actively living in this world and welcoming in more, wishing to witness more and see more. And this is the outcome, as we spoke of in our previous conversation, that more of you are shining with a higher intensity in this world now. Each one of the millions of you that are here as beacons of light, you are here shining brightly because you have welcomed in more light into your being. And in many cases, it has not been a simple upgrade. You have all shared with each other stories of discomforts, stories of the emotional times where the being in which you are sitting was no longer capable of holding on to the old vibrational frequencies of memories, of emotions trapped within the cells of your being. And when you have elevated your vibration, the letting go of that has not been easy for many of you. But now, with this change of vibration happening so frequently now, you are all learning that the easiest and quickest way through this process is to simply allow, witness, let go, and be. There has been much discussion and much teaching that you must look at what is being released and ask of it what it has to teach you. And we would say that this has been useful in the past. But now the incoming light is moving so quickly that the easiest way for you to process each elevation, each expansion, each renewal, if you will, is to recognize it as that, as a renewal, and take a time to allow yourself to be renewed. You're not holding on and not believing that there is anything to learn with that which is being released. Simply be grateful for the experiences that you have lived as part of this life, and that now the learning from those is done because it is being purged from your cellular self. There is no need to hold on to these experiences of the past and the emotions of the past. For the you that you are moving into is no longer requiring of the support of the previous experiences. For as you move into a higher frequency, as you move into a new resonance of you, you are letting in more of the new without the need of the validation and the belief that it must be safe based upon that which has already occurred in your life. You are willing to take more of this life as an adventure. You are willing to allow more of this life into your living of it and witness more that is outside of what you have already experienced. And this is the enlightening, shall we say, the allowing in new, the bringing in new, the moving beyond the validation of what has been, being the only way to choose whether to experience something in your future. And so as each one of you, as beacons of light here, are expanding into new vibrancies, you are igniting within everyone that you meet and interact with their own expansion. And we will remind you that you do so much. You bring so much into this world simply by being here and living it. By being the light that you are. By living the life that you live. And so as you as a collective, you as the millions of the interconnected light bringers here, as each one of you integrates and allows in the ignition of the welcoming of more to everyone that you meet, so the blueprints of humanity are changing, as we have said. The blueprints of humanity and what it means to be here in this existence are changing. And that intensity of frequency, that ability to hold more intensity in every aspect of the witnessing of this world, means that you are recognizing more in the world around you than you have ever recognized previously. Just as the high definition television shows you more detail, shows you more granular elements within every single detail of life, you are also seeing more detail and more granular intensity in every aspect of your life, the life that you are living. And so what does that mean? That means that for each of you, you are feeling life more intensely. You are feeling every moment of existence with an intensity that is magnified multiple fold from where you were only a few months and years ago. You are feeling the intensity of life. And as your intensity of life, your feeling of this world magnifies, you are witnessing the structures around you and seeing more detail. You are reaching into parts of life which were held hidden before because you were not able at the intensity that you were at previously to witness them. And without the witnessing of them, there is no ability to question them. And now, as your intensity multiplies, your ability to have a perspective where you question multiplies. And it is bringing in this energy of questioning that is meaning that so much of the life around you, so much of the solid structures of what existence has been is questioned. And you as a humanity are questioning like never before. You are questioning the pieces between the pieces of every single piece of your community, the pieces within the pieces of every single part of your governments, the pieces within the pieces within the pieces of how this world is held safe. You are witnessing the spaces within the pieces within the spaces within the pieces that were invisible and held away from you and were therefore impossible to be questioned. And so now you see this wave of questioning going out into this world, questioning the structures of government, of schools, of education, of family, of gender. All of these questions are being brought forward now. New possibilities of possibilities are being brought into the world because of the ability, through your own new intensity of vibration, to be able to witness more intensity within this world. And that intensity brings questioning of the validity of so much, brings the questioning of the stability of so much. And is this not what you are witnessing now, as you are questioning, as this world unfolds around you, as the news evolves around you, as you witness what is occurring around this world? You are questioning as never before as a global networked humanity. And in this questioning, you are allowing in new possibility. You are allowing in new fractals of possibility that were never witnessed before, to be brought into the truth agreements that have created everything around you. In the believing of the truth of this is how it is, the world has been created. Of the agreed realities of what life is, the world and your communities and your collectives have been created. But now, questioning is allowing in space between every single element of that agreed reality. And you are seeing that there are other ways of being. You are choosing different agreements for yourself, different agreements of what you wish your reality to be, different agreements of what you wish this world to be for you as an individual and for you as a collective humanity. As each one of you chooses differently, you are indeed changing the agreement reality of what it means to be human in this time. And as the agreement reality of what it means to be human in this time changes, so new possibilities are allowed into the reality loop of the entirety of existence itself. So as we say, you are changing this world simply by being in it and witnessing your own space within it, your own reactions to it, your own feeling of it, your own choices for life, yourself, are rippling out and changing the entirety of the pattern for humanity to come. And this also means that on a global scale now, as you as a witnesser of higher density, of higher intensity, you are feeling this world and all the discord within it with greater intensity also. You are feeling the emotion of this world in your own being more intensely. This higher definition, this greater fractal allowing. You are literally feeling this world more intensely than you ever have. And there is more to come. The light that is coming in now into this reality loop of existence itself is intensifying and will continue to intensify because of the agreements of so many of you to let in more light. And as you let in more light, you witness the solidity and the structures that no longer suit a humanity of light. And you witness those, and these are what are falling apart in many ways, or are witnessed to be falling apart in many ways. And in the falling apart of them, new is allowed to bring itself forward. Because as a humanity, you have simply agreed to the lesser definition and the lesser understandings of what it means to be human. What control you had, what abilities you had to choose, how easily you have been controllable. How easily, as a humanity, those with power over have become the bringers of the rules, the creators of the structures, the creators of the solidity. But now from within it, millions of you, through the agreement to bring in more light, are taking those structures and bringing more light and more possibility into them. And you are seeing that on a global scale, much of what is occurring no longer fits in an interconnected, understanding, love and life-created existence for humanity. And so you are seeing the outcry of the dissonance from what is the truth of a light-filled world and what has been, and the solidities of the structures that exist now. You are here as the team who have agreed to be here in this time to bring forward these new definitions of existence. And so, yes, many of you on a human level are feeling unsteady. You are not feeling the ability to ground yourself into this earth as you have previously. And that is because for so many of you, the resonance of the light that you are in now is no longer in resonance with the solidity of much of this structured, solid, linear, manifest world. And so find a new grounding space and frequency. You are living in a universe that has frequencies that are far beyond that of this structured, linear, manifest world that you are living in now. And as the light of you and the intensity of you and the density of you is increasing exponentially, trust your own spirit and your own light to find within you your own anchor point of resonance. And that resonance exists everywhere in this entire universe. Every element of frequency exists here. And allow yourself, therefore, to find your own space of grounding and recharge. If you no longer feel as though you can ground into this earth here. Many of you are on a frequency and agreed pathway to be in resonance with this earth as she herself upgrades. However, many of you are also here with a pre-agreement that you will be bringing through higher frequencies. And therefore, there is a transition point where you must allow yourself to trust in your own frequency and find your own grounding space now. And simply allow yourself in these few moments, as we hold you steady here, to reach out and find a resonance within this universe that is your new grounding point, your own unique resonance of renewal. And know that the light from there is infinite. The light that is within you, that is at that resonance, is infinite. And just as you have had models of bringing light from above and pulling into the grounding of this earth, If you are one who is resonating with these words now, allow yourself to find the new direction from all around you, in every direction, of the light that you are both grounding into and recharging from. For many of you are finding your frequency that is beyond this solid, linear, manifest existence of Earth now. And many of the pre-agreements of what is occurring in this Earth space are also being brought into a new level of resonance now. All is being up-leveled. The Earth itself is being brought to a higher definition. Everything is being brought into a higher intensity of experience of being. And this is why you are also finding upheaval on this world in the entirety of the Earth itself. You are witnessing much turmoil as the Earth herself realigns to higher frequency. And you are also understanding that there is a pre-agreement within yourself that you, as a bringer of a higher frequency, are indeed assisting the Earth itself to upgrade to new patterns and new reality agreements for every single species of animal, and interconnectedness of how this reality of existence itself is occurring. This is the wonder of this time. And you are also feeling much sadness because you feel the dissonance of what is being let go of on this Earth now, through this physical form of the Earth itself. Just as you have released much through that which has been held in your cellular being, so the Earth is also releasing much of that turmoil which she has held within herself also. And you are holding space by the light that you allow into yourself in your unique experience of existence. You are holding space for that possibility to occur, for being an integrated, integral part of this upgrade itself, of every experience of existence. And so how can you feel as if you are assisting? Many of you feel unstable because you do not know how to assist with these issues that seem so enormous. The climate that feels as if it has been abused. The world that feels as if it has been and continues to be abused. Those elements of humanity who are suffering because of extreme experiences in this world now, through war and climate change, through the recent earthquakes, through the extreme weather patterns. Humanity is suffering. Humanity has to change and adapt as the world changes around you, as the new patterns for existence are brought into being. And the witnessing of this, in the intensity that you are witnessing it, means that the new solutions are being brought in more quickly now. There are new blueprints within the humans that exist here now for the healing of this planet. This we assure you. And it is only because of the work that you do to bring in your own light as part of this network that is enlightening and bringing in a higher definition and resonance into all aspects of being, that is allowing that to be brought forward with an acceleration now. But yes, the witnessing of the turmoil is difficult. So how can you assist? We would ask for you to allow yourself to assist in your own life. In this interconnected world now, you are witnessing every single aspect of unfolding as it occurs, whether it is in your life, your community, or around the world. And you are feeling it, whether it is close to you or far away. And the desire to help runs deep. And we would ask of you, if you wish to assist in the best possible way, is if you are witnessing suffering that is occurring across in another planet and another terrain on this planet, to bring that energy of care into your own life. How can you assist someone who is suffering in your own existence? It is not easy to feel helpless when there is suffering on another part of this planet. But you can bring a focal point of healing into your world easily. So what can be done in your own community to support, to bring love, to bring a new way of seeing this world? How can you bring more love into your life now? How can you bring more support into your life now? How can you bring more of a ripple into your community now? How can you bring forward that idea that you have now that will change the people around you now? And as each one of you assists the community around you through the gifts that you have, through the ideas that wish to be born through you, through the bringing of your own light into this world, the network around this world assists every single part of humanity. How can you help? Help those close to you. Help ease the suffering, if you will. We do not necessarily like to continue to use this word, but we are bringing forward a discussion of unsettledness. And so we must use words that are understood. And so many of you wish to bring healing. So many of you wish to bring support. Do that where you are. Do that with what you have. Change the patterns that you are living within. Bring more of the new ideas and the less dense ideas into your own existence. How can you bring more freedom to yourself, to your family, to your community? How can you bring different ideas into your space? How can the light of you be brought forward into this world more intensely? And as the network of the millions of you brings that into your own space, you also assist every single part of humanity across every single piece of this planet. And that is how you bring a higher resonance of love and healing into this world. Bring healing where you are. Bring light where you are. Bring a renewal of you where you are. And this is where we would like to end this part of our conversation today, is by inviting you into a process. We have often worked with this channel on the turning of the moons and the turning of the solstices of this planet into a process of renewal. But we invite you to allow this into your world each and every day. To allow yourself every morning or every moment that you wish to do so, to stand in your own light, to ground yourself into your own unique resonance, where you are refilled, renewed from that resonance, and say to yourself, I renew myself to be, and choose the you that you wish to be in this breath. I renew myself to be. And in the declaration, each and every time, of the renewal of yourself at the unique resonance and intensity and magic that you are again inviting more into your world. You are declaring to this universe, to the resonance of all that is, show me more. I renew myself to be. In this breath, I renew myself to be. And choose the words that come to you most easily. Trust your own knowing. Trust your own light. And trust yourself and your uniqueness here as part of this interconnected world that is being reborn, thanks to you and so many of the light beacons here. Allow yourself to be renewed. Allow yourself to become untethered from what has been. I renew myself to be. And we hope that this has been a time of steadying for you, where you have felt yourself held, where you have felt yourself stilled, where you have felt yourself indeed renewed. And with that, for this part of our conversation, we shall step back. So, as I just settle back to being Cat there for a moment, just you also allow yourself to find your own edges, come back gently into yourself, allow yourself to become more formed as the human version of you, and just come back into being. Come back into yourself as you are, as the human version of you. Feeling your feet on the floor and yourself in the chair and in the body that you're in. come on back through. And if you want to, if you're feeling like you'd like to share what you thought of that session there, feel free to pop it into the comments. And I'm just going to have a little drink. Wow, that was really lovely. So if you are watching this on replay, if you are listening to those words outside of this live session as I'm recording them, just remember that that resonance is built in. And if you want to email me, if you want to send me a message, you're probably connected with me, but just take the email from, you know, what you received for these sanctuary sessions and just hit reply and come back and tell me, you know, what that has brought up for you, how that felt for you. Whenever you're listening to this, the energy is built in. This work with, you know, the crew and the fact that you're here now listening to these words, whenever that may be, it's no accident. We find the spaces that are needed by us in that moment. So maybe this might be the first time that you've ever heard the crew speak, but it will have been necessary for you right now to just hear maybe just one single element of that, or to be held in that resonance, to just allow the unfolding within yourself and the unweaving of yourself to be able to come forward a little bit more. Whew. I'm coming back again now. So thank you for that. And I'm just going to have a quick check just to see if there's any questions gone up, because I am going to shoot off into doing some questions now. We've got another 25 minutes. We may not need all of it. I've got a couple of questions already that were sent to me by email, and I've just seen there's another one coming through. So I'm just going to check those now. Just giving you another couple of minutes to come back. If you want to grab yourself a drink of water, make sure, you know, over the next 24, 48 hours, you do drink plenty of water, because we can take these sessions as a healing session, because you've been held in an energy which is in many ways bringing in, and as they said to us, you know, as we have a higher resonance, we ignite within other people the higher resonances and the acceptance of those within themselves. So when you're held in this space with the crew, with that resonance, that happens to us as well. So we can take this as, you know, our own healing and our own allowing in more of the light. So give yourself plenty of water over the next 48 hours, and, you know, whatever comes up and comes out and comes through, just let it come up, come out, come through. You know, there's a really lovely saying that I use quite a lot of keep the back door of your mind open, the front door of your mind open, and just let everything pass through. There's no reason to sit down and have tea with it. So one of my mentors many years ago told me that one, and I just think it's so beautiful and so easily something that we can bring into our own life really easily, and just go, I don't need to have tea with this. I don't need to sit down and offer it a scone. You know? Right, okay. I'm just going to read this. Oh, that's a lovely question. Okay. Right. So I've never done this before. So we've got a bit of a test going to happen here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to now just move into the Q&A bit. So we are going to be asking the crew these questions. So what that means is I'm going to be asking a question, and then I'm going to be bringing in the crew, and I'm sure they'll come in quite quickly. I'm going to be bringing in the crew to answer that question, and it'll be quite a succinct answer to that question. So, you know, some of these are actually quite big and meaty questions that we may go into more in a different conversation. But yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So we're going to have some short, sharp questions now. And like I say, if you're still here on the live and you want to pop a question up and we don't get to it today, then I will take some of these and I will do answers to them afterwards. And also, you know, feel free to send me questions between sessions as well. So we've got another session coming up next month, and then we're going right through to the end of the year in this accelerated holding pattern, holding space, you know, with these sanctuary sessions. So send me questions as things come up for you, as you've listened to this, maybe over the next few days, other questions will bubble to the surface. So let those come up and send them to me by email or on Messenger. On Facebook, you know where I am, and we'll get through as many as we can. Right. Dum-da-dum. So I'm going to start with the first question that I received, which is in the last, just backing up, in the last session, and I think we touched on it again today, the crew talk about pre-agreements, of what we pre-agreed before we came down into this human existence. So the question is, how do we know that we are completing our pre-agreements? Do we do this consciously or subconsciously? And do we always achieve our agreements? Right then, so I'm going to keep glasses on this time. We did not go far. And you will feel a different intensity into these conversations that we are having. One of the experiences that you have not yet had is to feel within you, as someone who is here listening to these words, the different flows of energy that we, as how we are known, the crew, can bring into conversations. Indeed, we are a collective, which means that we are an energy that flows and changes depending upon the question that is asked, depending upon what is required of us in that time. And so because we are here now in a different, quicker energy, we are not holding you particularly in a space. We are here in a questioning energy. And you will be feeling that within yourself. You will be feeling perhaps that we are feeling quicker to you. And you will, in other sessions, hear different voices and different ways of expressing. We wish to just explain that to you before we gave the answer to this question that has been brought to us. And so in this first question, we refer to the pre-agreements of you as a human being that you made before you chose to be made manifest here in human form. And the simple answer to this question is yes. You are always achieving your pre-agreements. Now, you are always achieving your pre-agreements because you have chosen the lineage in which you are. You have chosen the community in which you are. You have chosen the physical framework in which you are. You have chosen every aspect of the form, we shall say, in which you sit. Therefore, potentially you have chosen to bring freedom of choice into a particular lineage which has within it density in a particular aspect. We will not go into too much detail. But you can understand, if you will, that potentially within the lineage that you are in, the family that you are in, the community that you are in, potentially in the part of the world that you are in, you have chosen to unweave through your questioning of and bringing light into a particular density of form. And therefore, by being born into it and being a light bringer, a beacon of light within it, you are doing that. Now, yes, this happens on an unconscious level, because until you were here having this conversation, potentially you did not have the awareness that this was occurring. But now you have the awareness that this is occurring. Now imagine how much more powerfully you can question and bring more light into the experience of life that you have chosen to be in. Imagine now that it was all done unconsciously previously, that you were not aware of it. Now, if you are aware of it, how much more magnified can you bring the questioning of the solidity that you are undoing, unweaving, bringing light into? You can bring more of yourself through the conscious questioning, through the conscious light bringing, through the adventuring of the existence of you in every single aspect of you that you can be. You can bring in more now that you are consciously aware. And so therefore, yes, the answer is you are always fulfilling your pre-agreement, because you are born here into a lineage of some description of solidity that your agreement to be within it is undoing. However, now that you are aware of it, you can have a lot more fun in the existence of you, being aware of the power that you have to bring in more light to that experience of the you that's bringing the light and the life of you into that pre-agreement. We hope that that has been helpful. Oh, there we go. Oh, this is fun. I'm really enjoying this. Cool. Brilliant. So there we are. That's that one out of the way. How cool is that, eh? So we can actually, because we're now aware of those pre-agreements, we can do so much more with it. Woohoo! But everyone who is listening to these words, we are already aware of the power that we're bringing to change this world, because you would not be listening to this unless you had done a lot of questioning, unless you had done a lot of your own unweaving and undoing and letting go of solid beliefs. Excuse me, that's my honey and lemon to help my throat. So next question, I've got 2 more to go, so we're going to do this. We've got another one. Okay, this is the second one that came in, so I'm reading it from over here. Animals, are they energetic beings? What is the level of animals versus humans? And then the question I've paraphrased it over here, but the question was that sometimes they believe that animals are on a higher level because we as humans are doing some really dodgy behaviors. So welcome some insights into animals and their existence. Okay. So we're going to go again now. This is fun. I'm enjoying this. I think I should do this more often. Q&A with Crew. Okay. Oh, a little bit of a cry there. Right, okay. Actually, okay, animals. You have asked a question which is of the differing intensity of vibration. Many of you will be feeling now the energy that we are bringing through is one of a deep connection to this manifest earth. You may be feeling this resonating within your lower chakra areas, and this is why you are anchored to the earth also in those areas. These are the elements of you, if you will, that are more earth-based. And we have stepped forward in this way as this version, because the question is very much in alignment with the energy of the earth itself. And yes, of course, animals are indeed energetic beings. Every single experience of animal life on this planet is tethered to the earth itself. You as a human have the ability to, as has been discussed, elevate your frequency beyond that of the earth plane, the earth resonance. Animal kind, however, do not. And each species of animal has within their own unique blueprint, if you like, an agreement reality of what it means to be that species of animal, and an agreement reality within the ecosystem within which they live, of how they each are an integral part of that specific system of life itself. There are still multitudes of life beings on this planet that have not been discovered by humanity. And therefore, the anchoring of humankind and the anchoring of animal kind are on different resonances. This does not mean that humans are incapable of, in some ways, affecting the animals on this planet. Indeed, you have, through patterns of reality, created aspects of living with animals that in many cases are being questioned now. Are you being caretakers of this world? That is what many of you question. Are you being the caretaker you wish to be of this planet, of animal kind here? And so, yes, all animals are energetic beings. However, they are anchored to the earth with their own agreement realities of what it means to be in existence. There are multitudes of species of animal which have been affected by human existence here. You are aware of this. Those animals that you hold dear to you are indeed shaped by the resonance of the love that they are given and their own agreement realities of what would be their nature if they were unaffected by humankind is changed. The patterns of the existence of animals that have been affected by humankind have all been changed. However, if allowed, all would return to a pattern that is in equilibrium with each other. Nature is indeed the most powerful force on this planet. Humankind has believed that it is them, but it is not. And so, in answering quickly of this question, which we would love to extend more another time, yes, all animals are resonant beings. And there have been experiences in each and every one of your lives where your life has been touched and improved by a connection to an animal. Have you not felt love in an intensity from an animal that you have not felt from humankind? This is because all animals work on the agreement reality, and that agreement reality is to live within the unique expression of themselves. And that light and unique expression of themselves is indeed love, is indeed the connected energy frequency of this world. And so we will speak of this more. But we hope that this has assisted you in this question and in the understanding that the best way that you can assist any creature living upon this planet is to ask of yourself, are you being a good steward of all of the animal life on this world? Whoa. Well, that was interesting. That particular energy tends to come through when we're having conversations that are anything to do with the earth-based culture, nature, all that solid world-based, Gaia-based stuff. So thank you. What I'm actually going to do is just say a great big thank you to the crew. I really enjoyed doing that little Q&A session at the end there. That was lots of fun. I think I might do another one of those independently at some point. Thank you. Thank you for being here with me. Whenever you are listening to this, I am always so grateful to be able to do this work. I am always so grateful that you trust me and that you trust the crew to hold you and to allow this work into your life. You know, it's my deepest pleasure to do this work. It is my calling. It is my pre-agreement, if you like, to be this messenger. So I'm so super grateful. And what we'll do is we will come back together again next month. But like I say, please send me over any questions that you have. Hit reply to any one of the emails that you've ever had from me, or come onto my Facebook page and click a message and send a message through to me. I'd love to hear your questions. I'd love to be able to bring more of them into these sessions. And just let me know as well what this one today has brought up. It was a huge, huge, huge energy and steadying energy that we were all held in. So let yourself just work through whatever has been released, but take it as a healing. Drink lots and lots of water. Take care of you. Take care of the people around you. Bring more love into the world. Bring more light into the world. And that's all that we ever have to do. And so with that, and with much, much gratitude, thank you to everyone who's been here. Thank you to all the lovely comments. I'm going to go through them again, just personally in a minute, just to make sure that I've got everybody. And yeah, we will see you in the next Century session in October. Blimey, the year's moving on. So huge, huge love. And I'll see you next time. Bye for now.